Hello and welcome. For the start of this particular video, I'm just going to talk about starting and finishing a thread in Aemilia Ars Needlelace embroidery. This particular project is the Star Ornament, and you can see that I have already started laying the foundation threads. By starting the foundation threads, I've come up with a knot underneath A, comes through my cardboard and slid underneath the first supportive stitch. I have laid all around this circle here 2 rows, and I've started my 3rd row under here of foundation stitches, but I've realised that I'm not going to have enough thread to get back up to the top. So what you have to do is you have to actually disguise your tails where you leave your card and your tail when you start of your thread. And it has to be in an area that you're going to cover. Now this particular row of foundation stitch is going to be covered in needle lace, so the best way is to choose a point where I think I'll finish, and I'm going to finish here between B and H, come through to the back, and I'm going to have a tail underneath. You just leave that tail there, then you get your thread and you thread up a new length of thread, quite long. I usually do it probably 50 centimetres, 60 centimetres long, just something that you can manage. And I thread it up in my needle, and I start with another knot in the end as well, and that end knot will be come through from the back like I did when I started. So I finished between B and H, and that particular foundation thread, I have to make sure it's going to be covered with needle lace, so that particular area there is going to be covered. So for my next point, I'm coming up exactly the same place, or maybe just next to it, so that the tail doesn't come through. And when I enter, I'm going to enter underneath that foundation, that supporting stitch there, and continue on my process. I'm just turning it around so I can go in my working direction. So I slide under that one, whoops, without a knot, pull it out, and then I continue around. Next one, next one, and next one, all the way back to Now, when I get to A, I go underneath that supporting stitch. Okay, so there I am. I've laid my 3 foundation threads around there. I brought in a new thread. The last bit of that thread, which is over here, you can see with this tail, I'll just give it a pull there. That will be covered in needle lace, and the beginning will be covered in needle lace when I start off the new thread. That is fine. Now we've got to change direction, and we're going to go under all these foundation threads through the middle here, and then when we get to the bottom here, we're going to go underneath the outer foundation threads and the support stitch, under there and over and back to A again, going through all of those, underneath all of those stitches. All right, just like so. I'll just show you through here. We're going to lay what we call our first spoke underneath that one too, underneath this one here, and underneath the one on the edge. Now when you get to the edge, you must make sure that you go, now of course now I've got a knot, tweak, there we are, over the outside and back through the stitches again. That going over at B, over the foundation at B, it makes sure that this spoke is will be securely attached to the foundation threads. And then you go back through here, all the way back down to here. Under that one. And then when you get back to A, you do exactly the same, under and over. And that will make sure that this point here is securely attached to the foundation. So both ends of the spoke will be attached to the outer ring. And then you go back down through these spokes again, of these supporting stitches, again, all the way through the centre, Now that centre area there, the centre support stitch will be used quite a few times because you'll be going through that every time you do one of these spokes. But this is the first one, and then under and over. And then the next instruction for this particular project is to wrap your foundation threads all the way through to a certain point. Okay, so now when I say wrap, you go under and over your foundation threads, and then you just wrap in a clockwise or anti-clockwise, depending on whether you're left-handed or right-handed, it does not matter. And you just wrap them tight enough so that they all sit together like satin stitch. And you'll start to see, when I pull them all together, you push them together like so. I'll try and zoom in so that you can get a closer look. They come under there, and they squash them up so that they sit nicely together, and you wrap to wherever the point in your instructions tell you to go. And I'll try again, zoom in again. And you might be able to autofocus. And you'll see that if I grab my needle, they're all nice and pushed together, like so. Okay, and you wrap all the way down the spoke to wherever, I think it's to the centre, but check your instructions. Thank you.